Super excited to be talking about our book club, book of the month, Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. We had some major technical difficulties, so we're still pushing through. This is still happening. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, as a woman of color, as a Latina woman, as an Indigenous woman, I don't know why, but I found myself reading all of these really horrible reviews about Rachel Hollis's book, Girl Wash Your Face. And it was just not great things. And so I thought, how can a book that has been this successful, New York Times bestseller, how is a book that is this successful getting so much flack? So I love my motivational books, as of course you all know. So I decided I was going to pick it up and I was going to read it. I was going to present it as a featured book in our Magistra magazine editor's bookshelf. And I was going to commit to reading the book cover to cover. And when I started to do that, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed her book. So I thought, let's go ahead and do a full-on feature where we're going to be talking about the book and getting insights and discussion from you amazing ladies who have shown interest in the Magistra Magazine Book Club, and see what you had to think about this. So what I did is I was very thorough in my reading. Every time I really enjoyed something, I would highlight it. I am currently on page 127. So what I thought would be really fun to do is definitely read ahead. And then in the next 4 weeks, we will talk about, was it 4 weeks or 5 weeks, throughout the month of August, every Wednesday evening around this time. All the times are scheduled. If you're on the East Coast, it's a little bit later. If you're on the West Coast, a little bit earlier, vice versa. You'll be able to, join us and have this discussion. So we're going to do 4 chapters a day when we talk about this. And this will be like our intro, so you can see what I'm all about and how I would like to talk about it. And if you're interested in joining the discussion, then join us next time. So today we're talking about stop believing the lies about who you are so you can become who you were meant to be. Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. So the contents that we're going to cover today are the first 4 chapters, which are chapter number 1, the lie. All of her chapters start with the lie. Basically, it's a lie that you tell yourself. The first one is something else will make me happy. Second, I'll start tomorrow. 3, I'm not good enough. And 4, I'm better than you. So these are the 4 chapters that we're going to be covering today. So I really loved her introduction. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with you and what I thought about it. So, hey, girl, hey, which is something I always like to say as well. It's like a light, fun, wholehearted way. This is my big opening letter to my book, the part where I tell you all the things I'm hoping for as you read it. This is the moment where I outline my intentions, and if you're already game to read on, this is where I fire you up more about what to anticipate. This is also the important letter for someone standing in the bookstore right now trying to decide if she should buy this book or like the life-changing magic of tidying up, and the words she's reading now will decide for her. I mean, that feels like a lot of pressure for one little letter, but here we go. Her humor already is fun. It's already shining through, lighthearted. I mean, everyone has seen her all over social media, all over her conferences that she does. This lady has a lot of energy, and so let her roll with it. We have nothing to hate on about this. This book is about a bunch of hurtful lies and one important truth. The truth, you and only you are ultimately responsible for who you become and how happy you are. That's the takeaway. I am not going to continue on reading the full introduction, but I will jump to the next part that I really enjoyed. Sure, I cover a whole host of topics using my online platform, but ultimately they boil down to one thing. There are elements of my life, and I want to do them well. Simple as that. There are things such as parenting. There are things such as running our businesses, such as creating artwork, such as running events, programs, coaching programs, summits, retreats, etc. We all really enjoy these things that we've decided to bring into our lives, to bring into our businesses, and we want to do them well. And I really appreciate that she just laid that out there. So I'm going to skip to my next highlighted section, because to those closest to me, I am supportive and encouraging. But I also absolutely refuse to watch you wallow. The truth is that you are strong and courageous and a fighter. But if I'm telling you that, it's because I want you to see those characteristics in yourself. I want to grab you by the shoulders and shake you until your teeth rattle. I want to get in your face until you have the courage to look me in the eye and see the answer for yourself. You are in control of your own life. What I really enjoyed as I continued to read through just the introduction was that she's no holds barred. She's not going to sugarcoat it for you. She's not going to tell you something just to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It's really about dispelling all of these myths that we tell ourselves all the time, that we let things get in our way. And sometimes it's a difficult struggle to be able to get through those things and to be able to, push forth. And, we have all seen them. I can certainly share on multiple levels how I have seen those struggles for myself, personally and professionally, and in being a mom and being a business owner and being a military veteran, all of those things. There are these struggles, but you know what? You are ultimately responsible for your happiness. So that's my gist of her introduction. Already I was hooked. So I will speed read a lot of books. I am an avid reader. I love to read. It's my favorite thing to do in my pastime. And I will speed read through a book like nobody's business. And when I do that, it's because I'm looking for the point. Give me the point of the book. I could read cliff notes, I could read summaries, but let me look at the beginning, the end of each chapter, let me skim through the middle and give me the point, give me the gist of the book that I can learn and grow and incorporate whatever it is that I'm learning from this book, and then, infuse that into the work that I do already and then move on. With this book, I actually wanted to read every single page, and it wasn't hard because it is a bit of a page turner. There were probably 10 to 12 pages that I was like, okay, I'm going to just skim through this chapter. I was kind of getting lost. It was more about her relationship with her husband, I believe, and I'm not one with a relationship with a husband, so I just kind of skimmed over those parts. I will totally be honest with you with that. So, chapter 1, The Lie. Something else will make me happy. And her first line, I peed my pants this week. I'm like, come on, really? Not full on peed my pants like the one time at summer camp when I was 10 years old. Okay, moms, just saying. Just saying. The first passage I outlined in chapter 1. Life is not supposed to overwhelm you at all times. Life isn't merely meant to be survived, it is meant to be lived. Let's say that one again. Life is not supposed to overwhelm you at all times. Life isn't meant to be merely survived, it is meant to be lived. Seasons or instances will inevitably feel out of your control, but the moments when you feel like you're drowning are supposed to be brief. I highlighted that passage because it's a good reminder, because when stuff hits the fan, sometimes you really just feel like, you know what, everything is falling and I am completely overwhelmed and this is going to last forever and yada, 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 life sucks. But it's not going to last forever. Things always eventually come to an end. And I think what I draw from this is, how quickly can you get to that end? How quickly can you learn your lesson that you're supposed to be learning from this experience so you can thus move forward? So that's my thoughts on this. Here's the next passage that I really enjoyed. Certainly, there are times when storms toss you around or cover the deck with water or break the mast clean in half. Thus references because I was on a ship in the Navy, so I was keen to that one as well. But that's when you need to fight your way back, to throw all the water off the boat, bucket by bucket. That's when you battle to get yourself back to the helm. This is your life. You are meant to be the hero of your own story. What I get from this passage is that, you know what, girlfriend, shit's going to happen. It's going to suck and it's going to be hard. What's important is that you fight. You fight for what you want. You fight to get back on top, and you don't stop. You don't quit. This is your life. You're going to roll over and do nothing, or are you going to pull yourself up by them stilettos, girlfriend, or by them big girl panties and make it happen? So, Rachel Hollis, I appreciate you for saying so. All right. That was page 4 and 5, chapter 1. I'll try to go a little faster. One thing I also loved about her chapters is that she lists out things that helped me. Here we go. Things that helped me. I stopped comparing myself to others. I surrounded myself with positivity, and I figured out what makes me happy, and I do those things. Very last line of that chapter. You are in charge of your own life, sister, and there's not one thing in it that you're not allowing to be there. So think about it. Think about that. Not bad for a first chapter. I jumped right in. No complaints. I do not think she's being self-centered. I do not think that she's trying to present herself as holier than thou. I think she's truly presenting her life experiences, her lived experiences. Where does she come from? Is she, was she raised this way or that way? I don't care. I think the point of her book is that she's a mom of multiple children and an entrepreneur. Does she have privileges over many? Yes, she does. And that's clear just seeing who she is. However, does she have disadvantages that many of us did not experience? Yes, she had. So oftentimes when we're trying to compare apples to oranges, it's not going to add up. Yes, we all have our struggles. Yes, they may vary. Some may be worse than others on that worst struggle scale, which I think is ridiculous. I don't even think we should talk about whose struggle is worse, because to each and every one of us, our struggles are monumental, and they are meant for us and for us to learn from them so that we can continue to grow and become the person that we truly desire to be and that we truly are meant to be. So chapter 2, the lie. I'll start tomorrow. I can't count the number of diets I've tried. I can't tell you the number of times I've made plans to go to the gym and then blew them off. The number of half marathons I signed up for, paid the entry fee for, and then quietly pretended not to remember when it was actually time to train. 2, number of times I've declared from here on out, I'm going to walk a mile every morning before work, and then never made it past the 3rd day. Infinity. This chapter is where she gives a lot of examples of how we like to put off the things that we should do today until tomorrow. And thus, they don't ever get done because things get pushed to tomorrow and then the next day and then the next day. And that, sister, will most certainly weigh you down. The first thing I highlighted for chapter 2 is this. When you really want something, you will find a way. When you don't really want something, you will find an excuse. Whatever standard you set for yourself is where you'll end up, unless you fight through your inner instinct and change your pattern. That's how I changed my own patterns and behaviors, how I established the rule in my life that I would no longer break a promise to myself, no matter how small it was. And then she talks all about how it began with Diet Coke. about how she used to drink Diet Coke from sunup to sunset. And there was a point in time when she realized she spent way too much time looking for her Diet Cokes. And what if she didn't? And what was that like? And did she overcome this addiction to Diet Coke? Yes. And no longer considers herself always on the hunt for a Diet Coke. What I think is so important that really struck out for me was that, going back to that first highlight, when you really want something, you will find a way. When you really don't want something, you will find an excuse. I gathered something quite, I think, monumental for myself in this chapter, was that how quickly we will break promises to ourselves so that we won't break promises to others. And I think that is a behavior that we most certainly should look at for ourselves. Whereas how important to you is it that you accomplish those goals that you set for yourself? They should be extremely important. I know that blowing off a workout, a date, an afternoon to organize your closet, or some previous commitment to yourself doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. It's a really big deal. Our words have power, but our actions shape our lives. If you choose today not to break another promise to yourself, you will force yourself to slow down. You cannot keep every commitment, every promise, every goal and idea without intentionality. You won't just talk about a goal, you'll plan for how you can meet it. You'll set a goal and surprise yourself when you achieve it. You'll teach yourself a new way to behave and set a standard for the type of person you truly are, not the one you've dreamed about becoming, but who you practice being every single day. This is a behavior I talk to my clients in coaching all the time, whereas small steps will lead you to great big changes. I zoomed through chapter 2, and I'm sure that you did as well. Let's get that here. So again, things that helped me, starting with the one small goal. 2, being careful with my commitments. Slow down your yes. Only commit to things you know you can accomplish because they're incredibly important to you. Otherwise, you set yourself up for continued failure. And number 3, being honest with myself. Be honest with yourself about what you're blowing off. A little cancellation here or a bow out there can add up, but only if you refuse to acknowledge your actions. If you take a good hard look at what you've canceled on in the last 30 days, you might be shocked to discover how you're training yourself to behave. If you train yourself to behave in such a way that you are not letting go of the commitments that you have set down for yourself, it is a wonderful habit that you are forming, where you're not breaking those promises and those commitments to yourself. Chapter 3, the lie, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Page 19. I'll read the first one because I can so totally relate. Her first couple of lines of chapter 3. I'm a workaholic, and I don't say that lightly. The words are heavy. The knowledge makes my heart hurt, though if I give myself a little grace, then the truth is I am a recovering workaholic. I think many of us are still working on getting there. Bottom of page 20. I had this fluffy country mouse idea that we would create a space on the internet that lifts up women from every walk of life, that makes them feel encouraged, that makes them feel like they have friends, that offers them help and advice, and does it with positivity at all times. And you know what? It's totally working. So I highlighted that because that is where I really related to the establishment of the empowerment empire, the creation of the Empowered Woman Facebook group, the creation of the Latina Entrepreneurs Jefas Unidas Facebook group, the creation of the power luncheons, Magistra magazine, everything that goes into the empowerment empire is meant to create a space where you as women, as entrepreneurs, business professionals, moms, can find friends, can meet like-minded individuals, can feel encouraged, can feel like you have a list of resources within a space that you can absolutely find the advice that you need to conquer the task at hand. That is why I highlighted that portion there. This part was a lot about her relationships. And I went straight to, so this chapter I did not spend a ton of highlighting in. The further we get into the book, the more I'm deeply highlighting like no one's business. But so for this chapter, the things that helped her in the I'm not good enough category is I went to therapy. I went to therapy as well. I think every woman, if you have experienced hardships of life, unfairness, trauma, drama, etc., girlfriend, go talk to a therapist. I love having a therapist. They're a trained professional who can give you some insight. Now, don't get me wrong. The first therapist that you're going to meet will probably not be the last therapist that you're going to meet. It took me, I think it was 4 different therapists over the span of about 10 to 15 years, based on different things in my life that I wanted to seek professional help on, until I really found someone that I really liked. And that really, I don't need someone to make the couch fluffy. I don't want you to sugarcoat things. I want you to get in my face and I want you to help me break it down. Why am I putting these blocks in front of myself? Because I need to move forward and I don't know how to do it. Because otherwise, if I did, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. That kind of a therapist is what I really resonated with. Also, with that in mind, girlfriend, don't go to your friends and expect them to be your therapist all the time. It's great to sit and chit chat with a girlfriend and get her opinion on maybe this or that, maybe what you should do because you trust her opinion. But if we're talking emotions, trauma, drama, things that are eating at our core that we feel are holding us back or are not allowing us to progress in the way in which that we want to be progressing, that is therapist work, not your best friend. Some coaches, I work through cognitive processing therapy with a lot of my clients. I am not a licensed therapist. I am a certified coach, but I have been training myself in other modalities. So a lot of coaches will be really great about that. But our goal as coaches is to seek out what is it that you want to be accomplishing. Let's make that plan of action. Let's get you the resources and let's help to get you where you want to go. Therapists are there to help you deal with deep-seated issues that are preventing you from progressing as a person. There is a bit of difference there. So go find you a therapist, girlfriend. Second, I hustled for joy. I really resonated with this as well because she worked just as hard for the fun moments as, working for other people, working for clients, working for, getting your website just right, doing your marketing spiel, getting all of the things lined up for your business, for your next event, etc. It's important that you calendar in those particular moments for you, whether it is workout time, whether it's family time, whether it's organize the closet time, whether it's, go for a walk time. It is important to schedule into your calendar those things for you. And number 3, I'm a huge fan of, I reordered my list. So right now we are all deep in the power planning program. We do it pretty regularly. Once a cohort ends, I take a few weeks off and I start a new cohort. And our August cohort just started. So you're absolutely welcome to check it out. Message me if you would like more information on that, or go ahead and place a comment here and I will reach out to you. So I reordered my list. When I asked most women to name the things on their priority list, they can throw them out there, no problem. Kids, partner, work, faith, etc. The order may change, but the bullet points rarely do. What also rarely changes, no matter how many women I talk to, Women actually putting themselves on their own priority list. I'm talking to my clients quite a bit about this. You have to take care of number one. If number one is not being taken care of, all the other people are going to get shortchanged. And as much as you love taking care of other people, if your cup is not full, you cannot pour for them the greatest cup of lemonade in the world, right? You can't help them to get to that next level if you are not whole. Women actually putting themselves on their own priority list. You should be the very first of your priorities. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you enough water? The right nutrition? You cannot take care of others well if you're not first taking care of yourself. Chapter 4. I am better than you. I feel the need to confess all of these things. She went through and confessed all sorts of things that I think really peeled back the layers of, the Los Angeles life, which I have seen, I have been, experienced. It's a lot. It's a lot of energy to live the Los Angeles life. You got to do, glam team to, participate in a lot of the Los Angeles life. It's tough. It's exhausting. But it's also a lot of fun. And it's also really amazing experiences. So she goes through the experience of popular girls, mean girls, judging one another as women, putting ourselves in categories of otherness when we shouldn't do that. We don't need to put ourselves in categories of otherness. The world does that enough for us. What we need to do is be a true sister to our sisters. One of the first portion of this chapter that I highlighted was, you on the page 39, you are so strong. You're almost there. You can do this. You've lived through tougher things than this, so don't give up now. And it's about looking at ourselves and making sure that we are not trying to let ourselves fall based on someone else's successes. Chapter 41, right at the end of the book, I just went to town with my highlighting. I love this page. So chapter 4, page 41. Holding each other accountable comes from a place of love. Judgment comes from a place of fear, disdain, or even hate. So be careful about dressing your judgments up as accountability to make your conscience feel better. I have spent numerous hours trying to figure out exactly what women like us want in life. Do you know what they want? Do you know the number one thing that I hear most, get emails about most, get asked for advice on most? Friends. How to make friends. How to keep friends. How to cultivate real, valuable relationships. That's what women are craving. That's what they really want and hope for. And if that's true, we have to start at the beginning. We start from the beginning and we teach ourselves to keep an open mind. We begin with the first hello or handshake, and we stop ourselves from making decisions not founded in fact and experience. We look for commonality instead of seeking out differences. We ignore things like hair or clothes or weight or race or religion or socioeconomic background. We pay attention to things like character and heart and wisdom and experience. Your tribe is out there. And if you haven't found it yet, I challenge you to consider that maybe your people come in a different package than you thought they might. Things that helped me. Number one, non-judgmental friends. There we go. Non-judgmental friends. Number two, policing myself. Number three, dealing with that. Non-judgmental friends. We become whomever we surround ourselves with. This is something I have been telling my 9-year-old daughter. You are a product, not a product. You are responsible for those that you surround yourself with. If you will consistently surround yourself with great friends, then you don't have things to worry about. If you consistently surround yourself with friends that you always have to pick up after, you always have to clean up after, you always have to do something for them when they leave, maybe those aren't the best friends for you. We often become whomever we surround ourselves with. If your friends are full of gossip and vitriol, I promise you'll start to develop the habit. When you're looking for a community of women, look for the ones who want to build each other up instead of tearing each other down. Number 2, policing myself. If we're already judgmental, and let's be honest, most of us are, we have to work hard on policing ourselves. I get a little tinge when she says, and most of us are judgmental. But then I think about it, because I am a super clean type of person. I like my house to be spotless. And when I have to go into someone's house that is not clean, there's a part of me that initially goes, ugh. Do I want to sit down? Do I want to use the restroom? Do I want to use a glass? How quickly can I get out of here? And then I have to remind myself, what has this person been doing all day? Maybe it has been one of those days where all hell is broken loose and I need to give grace to my surroundings and to my environment. So we have to work hard on policing ourselves. When I find myself judging someone in my head, I force myself to stop and think of compliments about that person. By doing this, I'm learning to look for the positive instead of reaching for the negatives. Reaching for the things that is positive about the person you're interacting with instead of the negatives that may affect you. Number 3, dealing with it. Usually our judgment and gossip comes from a deep well of our own insecurities. Get to the bottom of what's going on with you, what's making you lash out to others. The first step towards becoming the best version of yourself is being honest, truly honest about what makes you tick. That is the first 4 chapters of Rachel Hollis's book, Girl, Wash Your Face. I know I went through it pretty quickly, but that's how I roll. So I really enjoyed it. There, like I said earlier, when I was doing my introduction, I would breeze through some of the pages, but for the most part, I've been really enjoying her book. It's something that I am definitely reading cover to cover. I am, 3/4 of the way through, and I've already ran out of my yellow highlighters. So now I've switched over to pink. Because I like to share the passages that really stood out for me. And then I like to talk a little bit about why these particular passages stood out for me. So I hope you will join next time. Next week, next Wednesday, around 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So find your time zone, register if you like, grab the Zoom information. It's a free conversation with anybody interested in having the conversation about Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis, what we think about the book, what we get from the book, what were our misinterpretations of the book, and just what you enjoy. Why? Because I like to read and I like to share my thoughts with others, especially on the books that I read. So with that, have a wonderful night, and definitely show some love on my page. I'll post, the Empowerment Empire down there, so you can give me some like and you can give me your thoughts. And I look forward to seeing you next week at the Magistra Book Club. Bye.